Hey, so let's talk about something that can feel totally impossible when you're just starting out, saving $10,000 in a single year on a starter salary. Sounds insane, right? Well, today we're going to break down exactly how it's done. Let's get into it. I mean, let's be real. Is this even possible? You hear that number, 10 grand, and it just seems like a mountain, especially when you're making around 40,000 a year. After you pay rent, your bills, and, just live your life, it often feels like there's literally nothing left. But what if I told you there's a clear step-by-step path to get there? The first thing we have to do is make that mountain feel a lot smaller. $10,000 a year breaks down to $833 a month. Okay, look, that's still a serious chunk of change, no doubt about it. But it's not some huge, scary, abstract number anymore. It's a real target. It's a number we can actually aim for every single month. So here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll get real about the numbers. Then we'll walk through 4 solid steps. Understanding your own money, building a smart plan, literally finding the cash, and then making that cash work for you. And finally, we'll talk about how to make sure this all becomes a habit that you don't even have to think about. All right, first things first. Before we can even dream of a plan, we have to get honest about the math. Because a good saving strategy isn't about wishful thinking, right? It's about knowing exactly what's landing in your bank account. And this is maybe the most important piece of the puzzle. Your salary isn't what you actually get to spend. So a $40,000 salary might sound like you're getting over $3,000 a month. But once Uncle Sam takes his cut, it's probably closer to $2,200. And that number, your actual take-home pay, that is the only number that matters for our plan. Okay, so let's dive into our first big step. You just can't make a plan for your money if you have no idea where it's going right now. This is all about building that solid foundation, and it has to be based on your real spending, not what you think you spend. Now check this out, because this slide shows the number one mistake people make when they try to budget. They look at their gross salary. So someone making 50 grand a year might think they have over 4,000 bucks a month to play with. But in reality, it's more like 3,200. Budgeting with that wrong number is like trying to drive to a new city using the wrong map. You're just gonna get lost. So how do you get the right numbers? It's actually pretty simple. 3 steps. First, go find your last pay stub and circle your actual take-home pay. Second, and this is key, for just 2 weeks, you have to track every single dollar, every coffee, every snack, every subscription. It'll open your eyes. Then you just sort everything into 2 buckets. Fixed stuff that never changes, like your rent, and variable stuff that does, like how much you spend on food or going out. Okay, you know your numbers, you know what's coming in and what's going out. Now it's time to give every one of those dollars a job. And for that, we're going to use a super simple but really powerful framework to build your budget. And here it is, the 50-30-20 rule. It's just a simple way to split up your take-home pay. 50% goes to your absolute needs. We're talking rent, utilities, getting to work. 30% is for your wants, all the fun stuff, hobbies, restaurants, you name it. And that last 20%, that gets aimed straight at your financial goals, like savings and crushing debt. And this quote just nails why this rule is so perfect, especially when you're just starting out. See, it's not about being miserable and never buying anything fun again. It's all about balance. It gives you some structure, but it also gives you the flexibility to actually live your life. And that's the key to making this a habit that you'll actually stick with. Okay, so you've tracked your spending, you've applied the 50-30-20 rule, but what happens if you're still not hitting that $833 savings goal? Well, this is where we have to get a little creative. This is where we go out and find the money. So let's use an example. Maybe after you run all the numbers, you figure out you can realistically save $600 a month. That is fantastic. But it still leaves a gap of about $230. So where in the world does that come from? Suddenly, our big goal isn't so big. It's just a mini challenge of finding an extra $60 a week. The cash can really only come from 2 places. You either cut your costs or you increase your income. And those little cuts can make a huge impact. That $4 coffee you grab every day, that's almost $1,500 a year right there. Getting smarter with your groceries can easily save you another $50, $60, $70 a month. But honestly, the fastest way to close the gap is to earn more. A little side hustle, babysitting, freelance writing, whatever, can easily bring in that extra $200 a month. And here's the golden rule. Any extra money you find or earn, it goes straight to savings. Don't even let it touch your checking account. Moving on to step 4. Because once you find the money, where you put it can make a massive difference. You got to use the right tools to make your savings work just as hard as you do. Okay, please pay attention to this slide. If your savings are just sitting in a regular old savings account at a big bank, you are leaving free money on the table. A high-yield savings account is basically just an online savings account that pays way, way more in interest. Look at the difference. On $5,000, a traditional account might earn you $23 in a year. A high-yield account could get you over $170. It's the same money. It's just growing almost 8 times faster. Now here's another pro tool for your toolkit, the sinking fund. Think about all those big expenses that you know are coming up every year. Holiday gifts, your car insurance bill, maybe you'll need new tires soon. A sinking fund is just a separate little savings pot where you put away small amounts each month specifically for those things. It's proactive, not reactive. And it is so important not to get these mixed up with your emergency fund. Your emergency fund is your break glass in case of emergency money for complete surprises, like losing your job or a medical bill. Sinking funds are for planned, predictable expenses. Using them means those big bills don't feel like an emergency when they finally arrive. All right, we have the plan, we have the tools, but the real secret to all of this, the thing that makes it all work, it isn't about having a perfect budget from day one. It's about being consistent and building a system that works for you for the long haul. So if there is one secret weapon, one cheat code in this entire process, this is it. Automation. Your willpower is going to run out. Don't rely on it. The absolute best thing you can do is set up an automatic transfer. The day after you get paid, that money whooshes from your checking account into your savings account before you can even think about spending it. You pay yourself first, and you learn to live on what's left. It's a game changer. So there it is, your 5-step action plan to save $10,000. 1. Find your real take-home pay. 2. Use the 50-30-20 rule as your guide. 3. Get creative and find that extra cash. 4. Open a high-yield savings account so your money can grow. And 5. Automate everything. Set it and forget it. That's the whole strategy right there. And that's pretty much it. You have the entire playbook. The only thing left to do now is actually start. So I'll leave you with this question. What is the very first thing you're going to start saving for with this plan? Thanks for tuning in.